All right, everybody, welcome to the show. Let's get into it. Let's have some fun. So Jonah Hill, that scandal with him and his ex-girlfriend and all that stuff, I'm going to be addressing it. I am shocked at the wide range of takes that I've seen on that issue. I truly am. I thought it would be one of these things where everybody sort of generally agrees. Wrong. Apparently, everybody colossally disagrees and nobody can agree on anything anymore. So I will give the one true correct opinion, of course, later on in the show. We're going to lead here in just a second with Joe Biden telling a stunning lie for no reason at all. Totally self-inflicted wound here. We have AOC makes a 2024 endorsement. Cenk and Anna of TYT fight, and it was a heated debate. They went at it pretty aggressively, but ultimately I think it was a good debate, so we'll dive into that. And then we also have a based Democratic governor of Wisconsin, Governor Tony Evers, pulls the most Chad move of all time. I cannot wait to tell you about that. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. And you guys know the deal. Shameless plugs. Everybody click like. Everybody click subscribe. Click that bell icon so you get a notification every single time a video drops. I would deeply, deeply appreciate it. Doing those things definitely helps in the algorithm. And you know that YouTube is not all that kind to political channels, so we need all the help that we can get. And of course, much love to everybody who supports this show on Patreon. You guys make it work. Much love to everybody who tips through the thanks button below and everybody who supports Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. I truly, truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Couldn't do this without you guys, man. Couldn't do it without you. And remember, guys, you could always listen to the full audio version of the podcast if you'd like on Spotify. We put the audio version of the podcast on Spotify in its totality, so it's not like YouTube where you have to go video for video. But anyway, all right, let's go ahead and jump into it here. So President Biden, for no reason whatsoever, decided to tweet, "On my watch, healthcare is a right, not a privilege in this country." Why would you say that? Why would you say that when everybody and their mother and their grandmother and their great-grandmother and their great-grandkid and their Uncle Ted and their eunuch Joffrey, why would you? Everybody knows this is BS. Everybody knows healthcare is not right in this country. Why would you say this? Why would you say this? So Community Notes with a devastating elbow from the top rope here. They say Joe Biden has never publicly supported universal healthcare or Medicare for All, and he has suggested he would veto bills that implement such a system. His stated policy goal is affordable health care achieved by expanding existing programs like the ACA and Medicare. So actually, they're a little wrong at the very end there. The rest of it is true. But at the very end there, they don't bring up that Joe Biden actually campaigned on a public option. And he hasn't lifted a finger for a public option. Now, what he did do is, in the Inflation Reduction Act, he did a $64 billion subsidy to Obamacare to expand healthcare to millions more people. He did do that. But he said he was going to do a public option. He didn't lift a finger for a public option. And he never, like they accurately point out here, he literally never supported Medicare for All or single payer or any kind. There's a variety of different ways to achieve universal health care. He's never supported any of the ways to achieve universal health care. So I wanted to point this out because this is probably the most important thing that they allude to in the community note. Biden suggests he would veto Medicare for All over its price tag. So this is the classic, like, how are you going to pay for it? Okay, this was always the dumbest objection to Medicare for All. Why? New study shows Medicare for All would save U.S. $5.1 trillion over 10 years. But Kyle, that's only one study, and maybe the study is biased, and you would need like an amalgamation of studies in order to make the point, and that's why you can't. Oh, what's that? 22 studies agree Medicare for All saves money. By the way, this one that says it saves $5.1 trillion over a decade, this is from the University of Massachusetts, Amherst. I believe it's called the Political and Economic Research Institute. Guys, this stuff is detailed, and it honestly, it shouldn't be that much of a shock. It shouldn't be much of a shock. Why? Because when you do Medicare for All, you're getting rid of the burdensome administrative cost, and you're cutting out the unnecessary rapacious for-profit middleman that provides no value whatsoever. They've studied this before, guys. It's something like 80% of the money that goes to a health insurance company, a for-profit health insurance company, goes towards actual health care. For Medicare, it's like 92% or 95% goes towards actual health care. The administrative cost is so much less. And by the way, the for-profit health insurance companies, they didn't even spend 80% of their money on healthcare costs until Obamacare rolled around and made them do it. Some of them were like 60% or 50%. So guys, this is not a difficult issue. I don't know why he would tell this lie. It's so stupid. It's so debunkable. I sincerely believe there's a small chance this was like a young staffer who was just trolling Joe Biden, who was like, watch this. Everybody's going to dunk on him. So another fact, which absolutely, like, viciously debunks the idea that Joe Biden made healthcare a right and not a privilege. This is as of 2021, but the numbers are similar today. Roughly 30 million people did not have health insurance in the U.S. 30 million. 30 million. That's about 13.5% of non-elderly adults. I've seen numbers as high as like 16%. So we're talking about anywhere from 13.5% to 16% don't have health care. There's about 500,000 medical bankruptcies every single year in the United States of America. You know how many other developed countries have? Zero. Donut. Medical bankruptcy is not a thing. It doesn't exist in other developed countries. Every other developed country has one form or another of universal health care. By the way, 100 million people in the U.S. have health care debt. 41% of U.S. adults have health care debt. 41%. So they go on to say here, more than 100 million people in America, including 41% of adults, beset by a healthcare system that is systematically pushing patients into debt on a mass scale. An investigation found a quarter of adults with healthcare debt owe more than $5,000, and about 1 in 5 with any amount of debt said they don't expect to ever pay it off. So in the past, they had said, oh, no, it's a smaller number of people that have healthcare debt. But this study came out and said, you're wrong. This is the real number. And why do they say that? Because in this instance, they looked at people whose debts went into collection too. So that means like you've had the debt for a while and you haven't paid it off. It goes to a collections company. That's what they include in this, where they don't include it and fudge the numbers into other estimates as to how many people have medical debt in this country. Guys, this system, as they point out in this article, you can see it in the headline, is barbaric. It's barbaric. Never mind the fact we pay way more, like double what other developed countries pay, and we don't cover everybody, and we get worse health outcomes. There's that Commonwealth Fund study that comes out like every other year, which finds they study 11 different developed countries' healthcare systems. We come 11th out of 11 every single year. Every year. So when Joe Biden pipes up and says, on my watch, healthcare is a right, not a privilege in this country, I cannot for the life of me wrap my mind around why this would be said. Like I said, maybe it's a young staffer trolling him. Maybe he's just lying and trying to get away with it. Understand something, guys. I'm a reasonable dude. I can handle political disagreement. I like political disagreement. I like debating. I like going back and forth. All that stuff is endlessly interesting and entertaining to me. What I cannot stand is dishonesty. Is something that is blatantly and brazenly and disrespectfully and offensively untrue. This is one of those things right here. So I don't know why he would do this. I don't know why he would say this. It's absolutely astonishing. And needless to say, not only did Community Notes roast him, but like all the replies are just roasting him endlessly. And it's lefties roasting him. Then people on the right, they don't want, a lot of people on the right don't want healthcare to be a right. So they kind of agree with Biden, even though he's lying about this, right? They agree with, let's not make it a right. But people on the left are like, why would you do this? Why would you say this? It doesn't make any sense. So Jesus Christ, man. Look, I'm a fair dude. I will give credit, and I have given credit to Joe Biden when I think he's right about something. I have done it. I'll continue to do it because that's what intellectual honesty is. I like that he got out of Afghanistan, for example. I'm going to tell you the truth. But I also have to tell you the truth when he's a brazen, disgusting liar, and that's exactly what's happening right here. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.